If you've been a follower of mine for any amount of time, you understand that bingeability is one of the most important parts of TikTok growth in 2024 going into 2025. Now, before I get started, go ahead and check the description. I have a free community that you can join, and there's a new free course in there that is the roadmap to 5,000 followers, so you can go ahead and go live, monetize, do TikTok shop, and all of those things, and it's completely free down there, so go ahead and check the description below. This would be thinking about TikTok in chunks rather than singular videos, right? And so you could have this singular topic, and I actually went ahead and did it this week, for example. Mine was about SEO, right? SEO categorizations, okay? And there were three big chunks that I talked about. Someone who has fine-related content, right? Someone who has a categorization, but maybe only for a few days, it goes away. And then the third scenario was people who get categorizations, and they have them for a long time. So these are the only three scenarios you could have with your categorizations in the search bar, right? And so what I did was I wrote out a whole script for a full-length video on YouTube, right? But I actually used this strategy on TikTok first. One of the reasons that I do that is because a lot of people are getting ineligible for the For You page. They're making a YouTube video or something like that. They'll post it, and they'll try to post that exact same thing to TikTok, and it'll get ineligible. So that's why I'm TikTok focused first, and then I'll recreate this for YouTube. I have these three scenarios, right? And so what I did was I broke each one of these parts into a 3-part series on TikTok, right? But I already wrote the script for the whole thing. It's just that I wrote it like a YouTube video, but broke it up for TikTok into these 3 different things. And so I'm going to show you something here. If you went ahead and you found a good idea, what's the difference between accounts that have fine-related content and accounts with a categorization? I was able to kind of frame that in a way that would pique some curiosity and that would give them some sort of enlightenment, right? That they couldn't just figure out in a 10-second search anywhere. So it piques some curiosity. But what I did was I wrote it in its entirety like a YouTube video. So I have the idea. So we'll go idea here, okay? Idea. And then you have the hook, right? And then this part of here would be the intro, okay? So you have the hook, and then you kind of have that intro. That would lead you to the intro, okay? Then you have this would be the YouTube video, right? Then you'd have the FRC, right? And then you would have the categorization only for a few days. Then you would have the categorization for a long time. Then you would have the ending or the call to action right here, and then you'd have the ending, okay? And so I wrote this out as a YouTube style video, and I'm going to use it for YouTube. But what you can do is when you create good ideas that would be good YouTube videos, if you go and search YouTube, for example, right? So I just went to my little For You page here on YouTube, and this is a good example here. Is the NBA rigging games for LeBron, and why, right? This has 18,000 views already in 4 hours. So this would be a video that's, what is it? It's 5 minutes long, but probably could be even longer if you wanted to add some more detail. But you could chop that up into 2 or 3 really good videos in a series, just like we talked about, right? With Risa Tisa, who had the 50-part series. You could chop this up into a great series. So let's go ahead and take this example. Is the NBA rigging games for LeBron? So we have that, right? And so you're able to do your hook and your intro, right? And then there would be some different videos here. This would be one reason why, but we could go ahead and chop that up, right? So this could be a whole video in itself, right? This could be a whole video in itself, and this could be a whole video in itself, right? And so that's how you would create a really interesting series. And what you can do between each series is have a CTA here to watch this video, and then have a CTA here to watch this video. And so in a good YouTube video, right, you have the hook, which is going to kind of like lead you up here. And then the excitement's going to kind of come back down here, right? And then you'll see that it'll start to peak as you get to your first point. That's what a good video does. And then it'll come down, and it'll start to peak from one part to the second part to the third part is a payoff. And so everything starts to, climax here before it drops back down. And so what you're doing here is with your call to action in between these things, you can go ahead and set up this next video. So for my series, for example, the first one I said, why does Lil Baby get categorized every single time, right? And so then I set it up just before the end of the video. I said, if you were getting categorizations for a few days and then they disappear, check this video right here, because that's an answer that, like, oh my gosh, I want to know that answer. And so you're piquing their curiosity, and in order to get that answer, they have to go to the next video. It's going to make them want to go to the next video, right? And then you answer that here. And then you say, you go to this. Okay, so now that you know how to optimize and get categorized every time, why is it that some creators don't have to put any hashtags, have any captions, and they still get categorized and they get millions of views? Check out the next video in the series. And so that was my call to action here. And then I got them to watch that, right? And so then I go ahead and do that video, give them the ultimate call to action, whatever I want to do at the end of the series. This is what Risa Tisa did 50 different times. And so she would tell a 10-minute part of the story, and then she'd kind of leave a cliffhanger for you to want to go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. And so this would be a really good way to think about your content, because if I build it out this way, I have 3 TikTok videos for one. 2, I have 3 TikTok videos that somebody could binge back to back to back, because we've always been talking about getting more people to watch more than one video of you makes you an authority, average views per viewer, getting people to watch more than one video from you in general, right? It was the Risa Tisa effect that got her to like 3 million followers in a week or whatever. And so this style works really well. And so not only do you get these 3 videos for TikTok, you also wrote the whole thing. You have the whole script written out, and you can use each one of these peaks that you were making, these call to actions, in a YouTube video. That's going to be your little mini payoff. And then here you have the grand payoff. Thinking about TikTok in that way, of making sure you craft an amazing idea that would work, for example, on YouTube, that you could expand on, right? Because this right here is what they would call a video essay. And video essays have worked for years and years on YouTube because they're so informative. People like that style, and it's telling a story from A to Z. And they use all of these features, right? Hook, intro, and they use each one of these points as these mini payoffs, right? In YouTube videos to give you that ultimate grand payoff for you to stay until the end. Now you just go ahead and use this for TikTok and break these up. Instead of a mini payoff, it's the call to action to the next video, right? So now you have 3 small pieces of content, and you have one big YouTube video that you can shoot horizontally and put on YouTube. So it's kind of a 2-pronged attack, and I've never spoke about it in this way, but this is going to be one of the ultimate strategies that I'm using behind the scenes that a lot of people just won't see, right? Because for me, it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm getting my long form content in, I'm writing that script out, and I'm getting my mind in the right mindset to be able to articulate all of these things. And then once I have that down, I just break them up.